All right. Well, thank you, Kathy, and thank you everyone for coming back from last week. Oh, no, not last week, last month, I should say. So last month we kind of talked about our money beliefs. So I think it all starts with, you know, what you actually believe about money. You might not know it in the forefront, but underneath it all, I think we all have something underneath there. So I think it's good to dig deep and just kind of realize that you might have some things around money and you might want to know what that's about. So today is going to be something different. So let me share my screen. Right. So how would everybody like to know how to create a money machine? Anyone? Yeah? So what would you say is your most important asset that you have? Brenda and Zara cannot answer this question. Anyone else? Florence? Can you kind of guess?
So I know a lot of people would think it's their house or their car, but I don't believe that's an asset. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to answer that question, Marilyn.
Okay. How about you, Kathy? Got any guesses, Kathy?
Well, the first thing that comes to me, of course, is the house, right? Because that's what you've spent the most money on. But I have a feeling this is a trick question. So
so I guess the trick word is when we use that word asset. So really, the most important asset that we actually have is ourselves, our ability to earn money. So we are in ourselves, while we can work, is a money machine. So we need to take advantage of that while we can still work. Because we don't want to be a chess player. I mean, we want to be a chess player. We don't want to be a pawn, so that you can have a free life. So it all starts with us, right? It all starts with us making some kind of money, and we all have to start with some kind of money, right? It doesn't, I think there's a myth out there that you have to have a whole bunch of money to start with, but you need to start with something, whether it's $10, $25, $50, whatever it is. And then you have to put it through, you have to put it somewhere so that it actually can grow for you, so that it can pay you an income later on in life. And you want that, and you want to put it in a place where it's actually going to work for you. So, I know that we all believe that the banks is where, traditionally we've been taught to take all our money to the bank, right? Thinking that, hey, if I put my money in the bank, it's safe and it's going to grow. Well, I learned the hard way that it might be safe, and that's in quotes, it might be safe, but it doesn't actually grow. And I didn't even know that money could actually grow until I, became part of World Financial Group. So you want to make sure that it's actually growing. And I'm going to talk about that next. So that eventually this money machine starts with you. And eventually later on down the road, if you choose not to want to work anymore because you don't want to, or you feel whatever, then this money that you have grown, your money machine, can feed you a lifestyle that you want for the rest of your life. Okay, so now let's talk about, well, the magic of compounding, right? That's the trick, is the magic of compounding. So let's take an example here. So here's Joe. Joe was taught early, and he decided that at the age of 19, he's going to start putting some money away. And he put away $300 a month into an investment that gave him about a 10% return every year. But he stopped putting in that money at age 27, because he, at age 27, he got married, and started having kids, and then there was no more money to put anywhere. Then we have another person. Let's take Bob. You know what? Bob decided that, hey man, I ain't gonna put any money away. I want to party. I want to party until I'm age 27, 7. And then at 27, you know, he got married to a really smart woman. And she said, hey, we got to start putting away some money. But look at the difference here. He put away the money, but he actually had to put the money away until age 65. So who do you think actually made more money? Do you think it was Joe or do you think it was Bob? How many of you think it's Joe? Think it's Joe? How about, do you think it's Bob? Anyone think it's Bob? Well, let's see what he actually made at age 65. They both want to retire. And this is what they have. So Joe only put in 28,000 and he now has $1.8 million in his account. Now, Bob, I mean, he did okay too, actually. You know, he had 1.5 million. But look at the difference of the money that they actually both had to put in to get approximately the same and the difference. So really understanding how compounding actually works will actually help you grow your money even faster. Now let's talk about, well, where am I going to get my money? You know, everyone says, I don't have any money. You know, money is, you think money grows on trees? No, I don't have money. But actually what Warren Buffett says is, you know what? Unfortunately, most people save after they spend all their money. No wonder they have no money. So his philosophy is spend what is left after you've started saving. So I don't know about you, but you know, in my early 20s, when I started thinking about saving money, I read that book, The Wealthy Barber. Now I'm aging myself, right? Dating myself. It says pay yourself first. So you know what? Somebody said to me, you know, treat it like a bill that you must pay for your family and pay it first. And then the second wise thing is, you know what? Small changes can make big money, right? So spending is a habit, and so is saving. So it's just, you know what? Once you start putting money away, I don't know. I used to do when I used to have a job, I used to have automatic deductions coming out of my paycheck. After a while, you know what? I didn't even notice a difference. Because you know what? It's not what you earn that counts. It's what you keep. So let me stop my share. So now I'm going to hand it over to my trusty partner, Kathy, there, to see what comes out for us around this.
Great. Yeah, just to let everybody know, I'm a tea leaf and tarot reader, but the one tool that I really like to use is what I call a tea leaf fortune cards. So these ones have a lot of signs and symbols that might show up in a teacup, except they're in cards. So you can think of them kind of as an oracle or whatever, but they're just, a deck of cards or a stack of cards that I use. And so I'm just gonna, tune into my guides and see what they want to share with us right now. So I'm going to pull 3 of these cards and just ask what else they want to share about, and I guess we're calling it money machine. That's what you called it. There we go. Money
Yes,
machine. That's
money
what I wrote
machine.
down. So what do they want to say about that?
We are
Oh.
all money machines.
And by the way, there's about 150 cards in here. So pulling something, 3 cards, to me, it's all quite random. So I got the boat, and I know last night I put it on my forehead and then it's not as blurred. Money or prosperity through inheritance, winning, or windfall. And the interesting thing about that, and I know this is my husband's idea of retirement. I'm going to win the lottery. And I'm sure Marilyn's dealt with customers or people that are similar, where they haven't necessarily planned for retirement or planned how they're going to, and it's kind of like a running joke that, you know, I'm just going to win the lottery and then I'm going to retire. And what Marilyn offers people obviously is an opportunity to take that control and not wait for the lottery to be your your savior, as it is. So it's interesting. We got the boat. I always say this one's about your ship coming in or your boat arriving, when we see that one. Lightning. So control your anger or you will be sorry. So again, lightning to me is usually about things happening really quick. And so so my guides are talking about the fact too that even winning the lottery and getting hit by lightning have about the same odds, right? I think you've got a greater chance of actually getting struck by lightning than winning the lottery. So it's interesting that they bring both cards in. And the third one, Tagger, do something risky, take a chance, or doing something risky, take a chance. So this is about being cautious. To, like, I know it says take a chance, but to me, when I see the Tagger, it's more about that caution. And as you said, you know, doing with your money what's safer and what will help you with that, the compounding, as opposed to taking a risk and dumping it all, you know, I'm back to the lottery, but dumping it into something, or hoping that, you know, you're going to win it big at the casino, or hoping that your grandfather's going to die just when you need a house so that you've got the down payment. And, you know, like, people are just being risky and not taking charge of their own money. That's how I'm feeling about these cards being pulled right now. So did anybody have a question about that? I feel like someone, go ahead, Marilyn, did you have something to add?
No, I just feel like the tiger, I think, showed up the last time as well. So it's funny how the tiger keeps showing up.
Wants to give us lessons as well, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pull another set of cards because I still feel like some people have questions, so don't be shy if you do. We're trying to keep this fun and light as well, but we're certainly here to answer any questions anybody has. So, all right, what else do they want to tell us about money? I'm going back into the cards. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, kite. There we go. Vacation. So what comes when I see this is the fact that sometimes we do need to take a break from some things, right? So, you know, they're not necessarily saying take a break from, you know, saving or whatever, but to me, this is more the fact that, you know, we need to separate work from play, and a lot of us don't separate that play. And it's not necessarily like, so, and you can speak to this too. So if someone is talking about wanting to go on a vacation, I'm sure you're saying, don't, you know, don't, you're not saying don't go on the vacation. You're saying have a separate fund or have a separate spot that is your vacation money.
Exactly. And, you know, I think that's another thing is when we talk about putting money away, I think everyone thinks there's only one pot where it's not to be touched forever. And actually, no, it's not true. It's like you have a pot where you're not going to touch for a long time, but then you also have a separate pot, just like you said, to go on a vacation or to buy that, you know, dream boat or whatever it is that you want to buy. And so, you know, we have different pots that you can allocate so that you don't feel like I can never touch that money for the rest of my life.
Yeah, what I'm kind of hearing is you still want to live and do all these other things, but you know, the money that you were talking about is money that's more your security and your retirement. And that's totally separate from this money. Like, don't be using your
Yes.
vacation or that for this vacation. There should
Correct.
be a separate fund or a separate way that you pay for that.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, there we go. And I got the finger warning you of a problem either now or in the near future. So the finger, I don't know how well you guys can, again. So
No.
to me, when I see the finger, When I see the finger, and is it glaring too much?
Yeah, it's there. No, you just move it the other way. When you move, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's good. Ah, there we go.
When I see that, it's talking to me about that instant gratification that a lot of us have too when it comes to money. You know, we have overspent, we have credit cards, we have all of that. And, you know, it's really easy to point to the fact that, you know, we need Netflix, or we need to have a better car, or and sometimes we point our finger and blame other people for why our finances are the way they are, when there's things we can do to control them ourselves. And, you know, luckily there's people like you, Marilyn, that are there to help people and let them know what other options they might have too, right?
Yeah, I think people have gotten confused with need and want.
Yes.
So I think everyone thinks that everything is a need when actually it's a want.
And the last one, which is kind of what you're saying too, the quill, I don't know, can you see that?
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yeah.
So the quill is the back to basics. And I always, you know, because they used to write with the ink, they'd have to dip it in. And so it's the old fashioned way of doing something. So this is when you talk about compound interest, it's like, I remember my parents talking about that and the bank talking about that. And, you know, and it's really easy to forget kind of your background or your heritage and some of those lessons that our parents or, you know, grandparents have tried to pass down to us. And I think that's what this quill is about, is kind of going back to the very basics, like what do we do with our money, how do we handle it, and again, you know, making sure that we allocate it properly so that we can build a future as well. So it's very basic things that we need to do with our money. All makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Feel like I'm lecturing, but that's what's coming through. So oh, there we go. We've got someone else that just joined us, I guess, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
any
go ahead.
questions?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask too. If anybody else had any questions, if that's all kind of making sense, isn't it? The cards are kind of allowing us to reiterate and bring up some other things that are all money related, but we may have forgotten some of those basic things too. Like I think that quill really, to me, has, you know, it says to me again, okay, like what are you doing with your money? And, you know, people think of budgeting as really boring too, right? But we really need to do what we need to do to be able to provide for our family and to be able to do other things. And a lot of times we need to, you know, you need to have, you know, a bath, you need to brush your teeth, you need to do, like, why does all of a sudden when it comes to something we don't like budgeting, we don't do it, right? It can be
Yeah.
that basic, right?
Hey, I'll be honest, I don't like budgeting myself, but you know, I'm human too. But yeah. So do you feel like, can you like me? I don't know, something is telling me that you need to pull one more card.
Oh, all right. I have a deck of tarot as well for anybody.
Oh,
So that's where I headed as soon as you said that. So I'm just kind of shuffling them a little bit. And let's see what that one wants to. Oh, the Fool. So anybody that knows a little bit about, and I'm just trying to get it in focus, that's all right, knows a little bit about tarot, this is actually the first card in the deck. It's about, well, it's about him taking an adventure and starting fresh and going off. He's very carefree. So this would go with kind of your Joe guy, I think more where he's just starting out and he puts some money away and he really doesn't know what's around the corner or what that might equate to, but he just thinks it's a good idea, so he does it, and then, you know, he goes off on his journey and just kind of forgets about it. Like that's the kind of vibe, I guess, if that's the right word, that the Fool has. It's about starting the journey, and I think that's the key thing. And you mentioned this too, is when you start it is important too. So, you know, starting younger and contributing longer. You know, I've heard it for for many years, as opposed to, you know, trying to catch up when you're older or trying to, you know, fix. It becomes more. Time is your asset, as you were saying, and we should be starting when we can, right?
Yeah. And I always tell people, you know what? It's never too late to start. Just start.
Yeah, because if you wait, you know, another day, another week, another year, you're then that much further behind, as opposed to, you know, even putting a little bit. And I'm sure you tell people, like, you can start here, and then if, you know, if your salary goes up, or if you get a tax refund, or you get something that happens, you can always then put in more, or you can adjust, you know, what is in there too, right? So
Absolutely, yes. So that's what we also do, is we give people second opinions, and we give them options as to, hey, what else can you do to find more money? And usually we're able to find people some money, extra money.
there we go. Can
there
I
we
not
go.
pay insurance anymore? How's that? No. Car insurance, no more car insurance, no more, no. Doesn't
We
work that
wish.
way, I know.
Yeah, we wish.
But yeah, it's funny when you do start to put things down on paper, you can see patterns, you can see what you do, and what sort of things are, you know, are adjustable, let's put it that way. It's not necessarily that you have to cancel something or you have to not do something. It's just maybe you just need to readjust or figure out if there's a better way to do that, right?
No, absolutely. And that's what we do, is actually, we never tell really people to go on a financial diet, because, you know, who the heck wants to go on any kind of diet, period, right? What we're saying is, hey, when was the last time you reviewed your car insurance? Maybe you should shop around, you know, it's cheaper somewhere else. Or, you know, when was the last time, you know, you called your bank and said, hey, can we negotiate that interest rate here? Or, you know, consolidated, or, you know, just little things like that all add up.
Yeah, even the credit cards too. Like I've never actually called my credit card to ask if I could get a lower rate, but I know that's one of the other things they mentioned too. Like, it's surprising, you know, if you ask, that
Yeah.
there are other options out there, or maybe there's a better credit card that has a lower rate that you may qualify for, and, you know, moving from some of these other high interest
Yeah,
things, right?
absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
but, well, I feel complete. I don't know, is
Yes.
anybody else
That's good.
want to chime in? We're certainly open to hearing other people's questions or opinions, but it looks, and I know, was it Florence? Yeah, Florence wrote in, oh, there you go. Just saying, needs more vacation days. There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Now that we're not working from home as much either, right? And going back into the office, it's become a little more stressful back to that routine. So, but yeah,
Exactly.
all
Okay.
right. Well,
Our next session is May the 10th.
May the 10th, yeah, the second Wednesday of the month is how we've run this, and there will be a completely new Zoom link, because I don't use my personal Zoom link. We use I set up a new one for each of them, and so if you're interested, you can either message Marilyn, Marilyn I knew it was wrong and it was coming out. Marilyn or I, or you can get the tickets again on Eventbrite, and then I get your email, and then I can send you the link if you'd like to join us next month. And we don't know what that's going to be either. I like the mystery that we're doing with these.
Yes,
each
absolutely.
month. It's
I
a
don't
little
even
bit
know myself right now.
I'm sure it'll be wonderful. I thought this topic was really good, and I'm happy that we got some other messages come through to help everybody grow their money.
Yes.
So,
All right.
right.
Thanks,
Goodbye,
everyone.
everybody.
Organizing.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everyone.